You're watching WHSV News 3. 11 minutes of nonstop news and weather starts right now.
Get ready to pay more for trash collection in the city of Stanton. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dion Guillory.
And I'm Allison Bruner.
We'll get to that story in seconds, but we start with breaking news. River Road in Elkton is shut down in both directions after a crash. This is in the 800 block of River Road. You see it right there on this map. I just got off the phone with an emergency crew who tells me that a car is over an embankment. No word at this time of how many injuries or if there are any injuries at all. We, of course, sending a crew to the scene. We will have new information as soon as we get it. Also, we are following breaking news from Stanton. In just the last 2 hours, nearly every member of the city council voted in favor of a trash collection increase.
WHSC's David Coy explains how much more you'll pay with this breaking news update. David?
Allison, only one person on the council voted against the raising fee for the trash service in Stanton. Mayor King says there isn't anything else they can do except raise the fees. For those living in Stanton, you'll see a $3 increase on your trash pickup fees.
It's just something we have to pay for.
The use and maintenance of landfills has gone up the past few years because of the decline in home building.
We've held off as long as we could.
Stanton Mayor Lacey King says contractors are becoming smarter.
Contractors, they're recycling as much of their construction materials as possible.
Good for the environment, but that means people will have to hand over a little more cash. Since the landfills and trash are being used less by construction companies, the cost of using the property went down.
For years, we have used cash reserves of $5 million over the last 6 or 7 budget years.
This is only the third time fees have gone up in the past 19 years. This fee increase will help maintain day-to-day operations for trash pickup.
We've looked at everything of reorganizing routes, reorganizing the crews to save money over the last several years to keep from having to raise these rates.
The city of Stanton has used inmates from jails to work in the landfills, all in an effort to prevent raising the fees. The fee increase starts July 1st. The day-to-day operations will be the same, so you won't have anything different when you take out the trash. Allison?
Thank you, David. New details just in on what the Augusta County School Board will do with nearly $2 million in additional funds. I just got off the phone with school board member Nicholas Collins. He tells me the board unanimously approved a plan to fix salary scales for employees. The board also approved an alternative plan for part-time employee health insurance.
Tonight, we are protecting you from scams and ripoffs. Nearly 23,000 people who lost money to scammers promising them that could get them help with free government grants will be getting $1.7 million in refunds. But here's what you need to know to avoid a similar scam. Now, don't give out your bank account information to anyone you know. Also, don't pay any money for a free government grant. And know that scammers can fake phone numbers to look like they're calling from Washington, D.C. And of course, if you have to pay money to claim a free government grant, it isn't really free. Also tonight, crooks are looking to take advantage of the rescue of 3 missing women in Cleveland this week. The Better Business Bureau wants you to beware of fraud funds. What you need to do is take time to check out the charity to avoid wasting your generosity. Also, look out for online cautions. That means never click on links to charities or unfamiliar websites, or even if they're in texts or emails. And not all organizations collecting funds are tax exempt as charities. And there is new information and new details in those Cleveland kidnappings. The suspect, you see him here, he had his first of what's going to be likely many days in court. And tonight we are hearing about the agonizing ordeal the victims say he put them through. Now, we want to warn you that some of the details are very difficult to hear, and erosion breaks it all down.
Ariel Castro.
For the first time, Ariel Castro stood before the bar of justice.
Mr. Castro stands before you a captive, in captivity, a prisoner.
Castro, a 52-year-old former bus driver, was charged with rape and kidnapping for allegedly abducting 3 women and holding them prisoner for a decade. Castro bit his collar and held his head down. He signed documents with manacled hands, entered no plea, and never spoke a word. The judge set bail at $8 million.
This child kidnapper operated a torture chamber and private prison in the heart of our city.
Details of their ordeal are hard to bear. Amanda Berry told police she was forced to give birth in a plastic kiddie pool. Her child, now 6, and the 3 women never saw a doctor while they were held. Michelle Knight says Castro ended the 5 pregnancies he inflicted on her by punching her in the abdomen until she miscarried. Among many more charges to come, those related to the pregnancy assaults could bring Castro a capital sentence.
We evaluate whether to seek charges eligible for the death penalty.
Gina DeJesus had a joyous homecoming Wednesday. 3 families who shared grief now share joy.
They can actually smile now. My daughter can't stop smiling.
Cleveland's ABC affiliate WEWS is reporting that Ariel Castro has admitted he's a sex addict, but that he is cooperating with police. Andy Roaston for ABC News in Cleveland.
New at 11, a Stanton man is in jail tonight after police say he led officers on a chase and they found drugs on him. Officers say Charles Brown was stopped by state police on Route 262 in Augusta County, but drove off. They explain as Brown drove into Stanton, he threw a loaded pistol and a backpack out the window. The chase ended in the 900 block of Rupert Avenue with a crash. Brown is being held without bond on several charges, including possession of marijuana. New details tonight in a dangerous dog trial involving a former Waynesboro mayor. Just hours ago, a jury declared Frank Lucent's dog dangerous. That decision came after an hour of jury deliberations. This is video from a previous trial. Frank Lucent's dog, Luke, ran after a man and bit him in the leg last May. Neighbors say this dog is aggressive. Witnesses for the defense say he's kind. Lucent says he knows he must follow the court's ruling and won't appeal this decision.
Well, what I believe really at this point is not important. It's what the law says I have to do, and that's what I'll do.
Lucent says he won't appeal this decision.
Also new at 11, a former top aide to Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell has been arrested for assaulting a woman and violating a protective order. Eric Finkbeiner, who left McDonnell's office in 2011, was arrested on 4 assault charges and 3 violations of a protective order. The charges reportedly do not stem from his estranged wife and stretched for more than a year. He is due back in court June 20th. Now to your voice, your vote. Tonight we are hearing from the man who is challenging Congressman Bob Goodlatte for the very first time since he told us earlier this week he's running. Stanton City Council member Bruce Elder is laying the foundation to run for Congress in the 6th District. Congressman Bob Goodlatte has been in office for the past 20+ years. Elder says he feels prepared and thinks it's time for a change.
We've given my opponent an entire generation to make a difference. I think he's done what he can, but I have some other priorities, and I think I can bring those to the front.
Elder says education and transportation are the 2 strongest focuses that need to be changed.
Keeping you and your family safe with 4 radar sweeps. When severe weather strikes, you'll want the power of 4 First Alert Doppler radars.
Well, if you've been out at all tonight, you were no doubt comfortable to be out and about. A very warm night compared to what we've been experiencing, and a dry night, which is also much appreciated. Satellite radar showing us a fair cloud cover in place, although I know that's not necessarily true because we're having weather watchers calling in saying, no, we got pretty clear skies here and we're counting some stars out there. But certainly a comfortable night just the same. I want to back this up just a little bit because you can see to the west some fair amount of shower and storm activity, and that's moving in our direction. Not really looking for anything tonight, but as we get into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, chance for some showers and storms, and well, we'll be talking about that again as we get into Saturday. 65 outside the studios right now, partly cloudy, west winds, they are on the light side, and very comfortable at 65 here, and that's, you know, about where we're supposed to be for a little spring weather out there. Temperatures around the area tonight is called in by weather watchers. 55 over in Franklin, a little chilly up in Winchester at 59. Mount Jackson, Dan said it was 63 there, Luray at 60, 60 in Waynesboro as well. So we're seeing upper 50s and lower 60s. Temperatures dropping a little bit further tonight. Not going to drop too much more through the night, so it's a great night to leave the window open, get a little fresh air, and that's good sleeping weather. And we had Stanton there at 65 as well. Forecast map, midnight, not too much going on out there as far as precipitation is concerned, but we do have some fog lined up, and that's going to be really the big big problem tonight is some dense fog out there. After midnight and for your morning drive, if you're out and about, be careful. Some of that, boy, that thickens up pretty well. We had some good fog last night. People saying it was really thick in a few areas that they experienced. So we get to 7 o'clock in the morning, we have some fog. We're picking up some winds out of the southwest. That's going to help warm things up. And there's that frontal system that's headed in our direction. Should cross the area sometime Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. Not exactly sure the exact time just yet. But as it gets a little bit closer to us here, we're looking at some shower activity tomorrow afternoon, just afternoon, at least out to the west. And then as we move through the afternoon, you can see some showers and some thunderstorms. So it could get a little noisy. Not looking for a lot as far as rainfall is concerned, but that should show up on Saturday. We don't need a whole lot of rain to hit the already saturated soil and cause some more flooding. So we're looking in the lower 50s here tonight, around 50 to the west. Tomorrow we'll see those temperatures around 80 degrees here in the valley. A warm day comes our way, a little breezy, and some shower and thunderstorms in the afternoon. The 7-day forecast, well, that comes up like this on the board. 79 tomorrow, a bit breezy, so it'll be warm. A couple of showers, thunderstorm, and then Saturday, maybe a little stronger storm activity there, and looking for a 1/4 inch or more accumulation. And that's not a lot of rain, but since the soil is already saturated, not going to take a whole lot of rain to maybe cause some flooding problems. And then Sunday cools off a bit. Good for Mother's Day. Get out and enjoy it.
And Mom will love it.
Yes, she will.
She'll keep you.
Which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Thanks, George. Well, it's a battle over chimpanzees in one county. A man with a backyard zoo hoping to keep his chimps. What the top bananas in the county say he must do now.
Vaporizers, water bubblers.
What, brownies, cookies, drinks?
Absolutely.
This marijuana selling wellness center is just days from opening up, blocks from Capitol Hill. We investigate if it's pushing lawmakers to say yes to legalizing pot. And of course, you can always join the conversation. We love to hear from you right there on your screen. Ways you can reach Alice and I on Facebook and
Twitter. The movement to legalize marijuana has arrived at Congress's back door.
And that's because there is a planned opening this month of the first pot dispensaries in the nation's capital. But the question is, will it help nudge along efforts to decriminalize the drug? Devin Dwyer investigates.
Hello, come on in.
Under watchful eye, medical marijuana will soon for the first time go on sale here, a so-called wellness center just 8 blocks from the U.S. Capitol.
This is what we call the product selection and payment room.
These jars will be filled with multiple varieties of cannabis, and on those empty shelves,
Vaporizers, water bubblers.
What, brownies, cookies, drinks?
Absolutely.
The dispensary in D.C. is illegal under federal law, which still bans the cultivation and sale of marijuana. But enthusiasts say a safe and profitable business here could help change lawmakers' minds. A recent Pew poll finds a majority of Americans, 52%, now favor legalizing the drug. Medical marijuana is already allowed in 18 states plus D.C. In Colorado and Washington, pot is now available without a prescription for recreation. President Obama told Barbara Walters last year he's rethinking federal prosecution of some marijuana users.
It does not make sense for us to focus on recreational drug users in a state that has already said that under state law that's legal.
The big question now for pro-pot states, will the Justice Department spoil plans for dozens of new dispensaries? Taxes and fees from weed sales promise to be a bonanza of millions in much-needed cash.
If this whole operation goes off without a hitch, you think it's going to send a message to lawmakers in Congress?
I think that lawmakers in Congress have received that message. They know that there are legal states where it has worked.
So far this year, 7 bills dealing with marijuana have been introduced in the House, including one that would end the federal ban. All face an uphill climb, which means for now, that new dispensary a few blocks from here is still at odds with the law. Devin Dwyer, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Also new at 11, a private zoo owner in Hanover County has 6 weeks to find a new home for 4 chimps. That's a decision made by county supervisors today. Kurt Shepperson has 6 chimps, but only has a permit for 2. He was denied that paperwork for the others. The chimps have escaped several times. He has until June 23rd to find them a new home outside the county.
Buyers are returning to the housing market and bidding up the prices because of the tight supply, and it's happening all over the country. With those stories and more, here's Bloomberg's Deborah Kostrin.
The housing market in recovery mode. Prices for single-family homes increased in 89% of U.S. cities in the first quarter. That's according to the National Association of Realtors, with the national median price $176,600, up 11% over last year. AT&T creating a pay-as-you-go unit that offers mobile service with no annual contract. Starting in select cities, AO Wireless will sell a range of phones, including Apple's iPhone, with data plans from $35 to $70 a month. The company is looking to compete with T-Mobile to win budget-conscious consumers. Stocks ending a 5-day winning streak after comments from a Fed official about ongoing stimulus measures. And the top 2 tax writers in Congress are starting a campaign for a simpler U.S. tax code. Chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, Max Baucus, and his counterpart, Dave Camp, on the House Ways and Means Committee, set up this website, taxreform.gov, and a Twitter account. They want your input to try to revise the U.S. tax system. I'm Deborah Costrin with the Bloomberg After the Bell Report.
The American dream is of a better future, a confident retirement. Those dreams have taken a beating lately, but no way we're going to let them die. Ameriprise Advisors can help keep your dreams alive like they helped millions of others by listening, planning, working one-on-one. That's what Ameriprise Financial does. That's what they can do with you. That's how Ameriprise puts more within reach.
Good evening. This is Hugh Lance with the Holsinger, Lance, Sipe, and Gokenar Investment Group of Wells Fargo Advisors. Here are your stocks of local interest for Thursday.
One Virginia University is being called the nation's least economically diverse college. What one survey found and what that university is saying tonight.
Plus, a Valley Bed and Breakfast is getting some national attention. Who's putting it in the spotlight and how it can boost business.
Now to 2 more stories new at 11. The University of Virginia is getting slammed by a new report.
Yeah, it ranks UVA as the least economically diverse public school in the nation. The report by the New America Foundation is critical of what it calls higher education's relentless pursuit of prestige and revenue. The study found that low-income students suffered in states like Virginia, where schools had a system of raising tuition. And UVA didn't want to go on camera, but they did release this statement that reads in part, quote, "It is important to consider the success of Pell recipients rather than just the number. UVA's graduation rate of 85% for Pell Grant recipients exceeds the total graduation rate at many American universities."
A Valley Bed and Breakfast is in the spotlight tonight by the site of the Road Inn and Cottages in Harrisonburg is now on Groupon. The deal features their private spring water cottage suites. Janice Fitzgerald, the owner, tells me she's excited to see this because it's putting the Valley on the map not only in major cities but worldwide. She also says it's helping to boost our local economy and bringing tourists from all over.
Most distant reservation to a gentleman in Afghanistan. He actually called me via Skype, made his reservation having seen Groupon online, and will be here in about 2 weeks when he's on vacation.
For more information on this deal, go to our web channel at WHSV.com.
Very nice. They're going to be very busy.
Yes, they will be.
And it's been a busy day for JMU.
A very busy day for JMU. 2 basketball players not coming back to Matt Brady's team. We'll have that news straight ahead. Plus a little Valley baseball finally under clear skies. Plus the CAA softball championships continuing. A double dose of highlights of the Dukes on the way. And for the final time this school year, meeting another student athlete of the week. Back up to Page County to meet another Panther baseball player. Ty Comer making an impact on the field and in the classroom. His story on the way in sports.